First, I just share the National Energy Conservation Day wishes to all the participants. And the conservation is one of the major issue. I mean, from household to big industries, there is energy conservation is becoming a hot topic now. It is not only energy; it is also using renewable energy in the form of solar or wind. Is it audible, sir?
Yeah, it's correct, sir. It's normal.
Correct, sir. Okay, okay, normal. So I'm also got disturbed now. So give me a few minutes for settling down. Okay.
Yeah, no issue, no issue.
Okay, then.
I understand.
Okay, okay, okay. So this is a topic that given to me related to this energy conservation and the standard that is followed for this conservation activities within the an organization or where the energy is used very intensively. So this sincerely I thank to the organizers. Special thanks to Sri Salai Manalan, Chairman IEI RLC, Sri Vivek, Honorary Secretary IEI RLC, and all office bearers for giving this opportunity for me to make this presentation. So this before getting into this ISO 50001, this Energy Conservation Act was introduced in 2001, and we were working in the National Small Enterprises Corporation at Rajkot, which is one of the nodal agency for energy conservation activities before this act was enacted in the Parliament. So we started working from the year 1984 as part of our MTech course and in association with the BHEL Trichy. So from that day onwards, we were doing energy audit and we keep on doing it. Initially, it was going to the industry and requesting them and motivating them to take up this energy audit work free of cost. And under this nodal agency, we were given a mobile van which has the facilities to carry all the instruments, which is portable instruments. All instruments are imported from UK. So it was the year 1984 to 2000. It was the activity was going like this, and almost we have covered major industries, including that earlier L&T Cements, to a small furnace in Jamnagar, which is famous for all the brass items. Even the cycle tube valve is manufactured, is coming from this Jamnagar, where there is a small crucibles are used to weld this brass and making the brass components. So we did a wide range of energy conservation activities in throughout the western region. It is not only that energy audit, it is also a training, motivating, creating manpower, the capacity building through various associations. It is all we were doing during those period. And with those experience in this act was, after this act enacted, there was a heavy momentum and a large scale momentum happened within our country, and that now we are in a different scenario. Those days, when we go to industry, there is a small or big, definitely there is a scope of about 20 to maximum 50%, up to 50% we could say. Even for L&T Cement, earlier it was L&T Cement, there was 2000 we did the audit. So that L&T Cement also, they were all not knowing many concepts how to save energy, starting from compressors, air compressors, and then pumps, blowers, and then cooling tower. These are utilities. They were not aware of many things about this utility energy efficiency, how to improve it, how to do the performance study. That also they were missing. So that was the scenario. So there was a large gap with the efficiency and the energy use. So because of that, there is a large potential for saving electrical as well as even thermal energy when we go for boiler analysis, boiler performance study. We all will be knowing that about this boiler conception and analysis and then performance study. So with that background, we started, and the days passed. Now there is a big challenge. Now we cannot go to industry just I'm going to do audit and I'm going to give some energy conservation tips to you, because they are all well aware, and they will be doing most of the industries now. They are just want to do additional tips. Otherwise, energy conservation aspects are all covered by the manufacturer itself. So to that level, it has percolated, and finding a scope for energy saving is very difficult nowadays. It's very challenging for any energy auditor and any engineers. So unless the people working there take initiatives nowadays, It is very difficult. They have to find, because they are the right people to tell you where the energy conservation could be possible. And as an auditor, I may not be able to go to that deep level within a day or within a few days of auditing. I cannot even identify anything. Nowadays, this energy conservation is in industries is basically it is whether what they have done is right or are the organizations also very clever. They catch hold of all the energy auditors that you commit some saving, otherwise they will not take your service. Such a situation has come up. So they need all continual improvement aspects or a commitment from the auditors or from the energy conservation specialists. So what is the scope of energy saving? The emerging of ESCOs are built, operate, own, and transfer. These are the concepts have come up, and now we are moving towards application, introducing more renewable energy in our activities and reducing the dependency on the coal-based power. And further, it is again the reduction of carbon emissions, and then carbon tax and neutrality, carbon neutrality, zero emission, like that we are discussing, and we are now focusing how to abate the global warming aspects. So we have committed to the international community that by 2030, under the INDC, intended nationally determined contribution, that we have committed, we will be reducing our carbon emission by 33 to 35% by 2030 from the level of 1995. So there is a commitment, and then recently that we have committed that to 2070 we will become carbon neutral. So this is the way we are moving towards. So the energy conservation is one of the aspects, because 60% of our carbon emission comes from the usage of energy. That is conventional fuel, because we depend, as you all aware, that we depend more on coal-based power, and then we are building up this non-coal-based power dependence. That is building a massive expansion in solar power plants, and also we are going for electric vehicles. This is also coming up very actively, and the people are investing, and the big players are coming into the electric vehicle to replace this vehicle within next 15 years or 20 years. All these automobiles, that is fuel-based automobiles, will be replaced with electric vehicles. And recently, that is a rooftop hydrogen facilities are coming up. That is every house, like solar panel, even the houses will have a rooftop hydrogen cylinders that will supply energy requirement for the house. So this is the level we are going up. So energy conservation is a energy conservation or energy supplementation or energy replacement. All the three are going hands in hand. And the energy conservation is one part where we use that available energy efficiently, so that we get more time for the replacement of the available energy with other type of conventional or non-conventional sources of energy, or carbon-free fuels. So this is a scenario, and simultaneously there are government norms. This Energy Conservation Act, we are just concentrating on the energy auditing, mandatory energy audit, then voluntary energy audit. So like that, every organization have been, as per the act, the industries have been classified under energy intensive industries. Those energy intensive industries are compelled to do Energy Conservation Act through energy audit. And a predetermined time, maybe every 3 years, they are asked to do the energy audit. And the state-wise also, this norm changes, where 100 kilowatt connected buildings are to be audited. Some states are having these norms. They are going to the residential level up to 100 kilowatt connected road. So the percolation of this act or the activities are so micro level that even residential home will be have to be audited for efficient use of energy. So this, as this scenario goes, this energy intensive industries, though they are having this mandatory energy audit, there are certain class of industries where this energy audit is not yet mandatory. There are certain states where they don't they have not made energy audit as a mandatory for certain classes like MSMEs. where they are not coming into the bracket of energy intensive industries as classified by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Government of India. So with this background, this the segment which is not covered under this any of this law, they have to go for energy audit or energy conservation, because they have to reduce the competitive nation or nature of the business, the competitive nature of the business. They compel them to reduce the cost. There is no other option. How to reduce their production cost, how to reduce their operational cost. So the one of the option is conserve energy within the organization. Maybe it is in electrical form or it is a fuel form. So they have to take voluntarily, they are coming forward to do these energy conservation activities. And these activities, people may not be having a systematic approach. What are the things to be covered within the organization? Are these every aspects has been covered within the organization? The MSMEs are finding very difficult. Maybe the high energy intensive industries have taken necessary steps to implement a systematic approach in the energy conservation activities. Maybe because of the compulsion or because of their own competency, because industries having experts, there are highly qualified people are available within the organization. So they have take their own steps by own initiative, and they do a lot of activities towards energy conservation. They talk about energy performance indicator, they talk about carbon emission, etc., etc. Whereas this MSM is mostly in the not covered under the act. They find it difficult mainly because of they have lack of manpower, lack of competency within the organization, and they are also not able to spend money on hiring high experts. And because of this, they lack this energy conservation activities. And to match this, government also giving a lot of subsidy, financial support for this industry to take up energy conservation activities. And this way it is getting momentum. And the most attractive thing is it gives an immediate profit, immediate reduction in the operational cost, which is most major attractive point of attraction for these industries to go for energy conservation. So now how this energy conservation, this ISO management system, how helps with this conservation. So this management system, there was no, till 2011, there was no management system available for this energy conservation activities. It was only a localized or centralized government laws or within the own organization policy. Like that only it was happening. So there was a need to streamline all this energy usage throughout the world, because energy use affects the global climate change. So the climate change is an universal phenomenon. So the energy use has to be streamlined or efficiently it should be used, or proper guidance should be given to use these energies in a judicial and efficient way. That that is the base for birth of this ISO 50001 2018. Once a system is implemented, the beauty is everything is automatically covered, starting from the energy usage, starting from energy audit. Whatever you do in the energy audit, the automatically will be covered, and this will happen as automatic in every year. That means you need not wait for any government law or anybody come and tell you go for energy audit. Like that, it is not at all required. So 2011 is the first version was introduced. Just I will get into the our 50,001, how it helps, and what is the brief history of the 50,001. With this, I will start this presentation. So anyway, this is totally about 50,001, which is we are not going to cover all the aspects of this 50,000, which is not required as per this energy conservation is required. See, the 50,001, the introduction is in 2007, UNIDO initiated the development of International Energy Management Standard through ISO. So in 2001 only, 2007, the United Nations has asked the ISO organization to develop a standard. So that was the starting point. And with response to that, this 2008 ISO created a project committee for the development of the standard. And 2011, the first version of ISO 50000 was published. So this is how the birth of the system happened. And 2018 is the latest version. Though after this 5 years, it will be revised every year as per any other standard. The revision process also has happened, and the second version, the latest version, 2018, is available now. The energy management system published in August 2018. So it is a framework for establishing policies, process, procedures, and specific tasks focusing energy use and energy efficiency. So this framework was missing before 2011. Before this standard comes, everybody having their own. If you take out the BE guidebooks, that they will say in the book itself, the definition is that there is no set methodology, or there is no definition for energy audit. It is the process, the methodology. It depends on every industry, it depends on the nature of activity, it depends on the size of the activity, size of the industry. So like that, it was something localized definition. It is not a very generalized definition where the same method will be applicable to throughout the globe. So this standard gives a global framework where every industry will follow the same type of activity, and the energy conservation is streamlined. Every conservation is being carried out systematically in every organization, and the major advantage is a measurable energy conservation achievements have been is possible through by implementing this uniformly measurable. So the unit, the energy saving or whatever the energy conservation efforts were introduced within the organization. So it was measurable. It made this system has made it measurable and acceptable throughout the globe. So this is the advantage of this 50,001. How it impact, the first impact of this 50,001 on energy conservation activities. Once it is introduced, it was just giving an influence of 60% of industrial energy users worldwide to achieve highest possible reduction in energy use. Then this was the implementation schedule. That is August 2018. Just those who were taken the 2011 certification, they have to go for 2018 conversion from the 2011 to 2018, a 3 years time period that was given, and because of the corona, now these time periods are extended. Sir, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Because I'm just seeing the screen, I feel that there is no, I just wanted to confirm whether I'm audible. Okay.
You
So
are
now
very
this,
much audible. Don't worry.
okay,
Continue.
thank you. Yeah, please. This energy management system in practice, see, these are the countries where actively involved in implementing this energy system. So it is Germany is the topmost country which has a large number of industries following this ISO management system, and India is somewhere here. India is somewhere here. So these are the countries, and if you look at the business potential worldwide, there is a huge business potential for implementing this energy conservation, energy 50,001 management system. And now India also, it is getting momentum nowadays, because it is automatically once implemented, there is no need for it takes care of this implementation of the energy conservation activities and ensure there is a continual improvement is happening, or at least that is not deteriorating. So that way the system helps the organizations to keep track of their energy efficiency and energy performance, to keep control on their energy cost. So it is not an option so far, and now it is going to be soon. Like ISO 14001, it is compulsory for some other environmental certification is compulsory for certain type of organizations like that. This 50,001 also is likely to be made mandatory, looking at the fast depletion of this resources, as well as the global impact or the temperature rise, and probably this is also going to be a mandatory requirement within a short period of time. So the benefit of this system is well-defined energy management system. So what is happening? The result is visibility in energy use. So visibility in energy use means that is every employee of the organization will be able to understand what is my company's energy performance and what way I can contribute to the organization. So there is energy conservation is not a topic of only a top management or the engineers or the senior executives. It is the topic for everyone from the shop floor to the top management. So everyone will be aware of their what is the energy use. That is the most visible visibility gets increased after this system implemented. That is one of the major. So everybody knows where we are. So even the small sweeper also will think I have to switch off when the light is off. So that is comes automatically. That is the habit or the behavior totally get changed because of this system. So it ensures that everyone contributes might towards energy conservation within the organization. And second is reduced energy use, improved energy efficiency, and this leads to energy saving opportunities, low hanging fruits. So even a shop floor man can tell you, sir, these are the area where we can save energy. So this type of culture will be developed within the organization. So it helps the organization to reduce their energy cost. The energy use, improved energy efficiency. So the system has something for everyone within the organization. A high-end engineer also can contribute heavily on the energy consumption, energy reduction, energy conservation. Similarly, a small class C employee also can contribute a might towards energy conservation. So it has an overall organizational approach. It generates a momentum throughout the organization. So everyone will contribute for energy conservation within the organization. Then increased cost saving. So compared to any other system, to take ISO 45,000, ISO 14,000, ISO 9,000, all are involving cost. But how the cost is recovered? Maybe it is all doing intangible benefit, not a tangible benefit. But this is the only standard which gives a tangible benefit, immediate profit. Immediately you can realize your cost reduction. So that is one of the major advantages of this energy 50,001 system, because it is not a documented information. It is not just going by documented information. It also needs a technical competency. It ensures high level of technical competency in improving the energy performance of the organization. So it is automatically happening within the organization. So the increased cost saving is automatically comes. I mean, once the system is implemented, you will recover the cost, start recovering the cost before even the product comes out. Even the product comes out, you will be start reducing the cost by improving the operational efficiency. So that is the advantage of this 50,001. It's a measurable cost saving, very quick and a lot of low hanging fruits because the contribution will come from all level of employees. If the top management motivate throughout the organization and gives due consideration, definitely this opportunity or energy conservation tips, energy conservation measures will come from all level of employees. That automatically gives you a profit immediately. Then your benchmarking is the one of the aspects. Yes. Before energy conservation, this if you don't have this 50,001, you do an audit, and what you will do, they will study all the performance, and they will say, "Sir, this can be done, that can be done, that can be done." So it will be your savings. But once this system is the benchmarking, where you are now, that is a question. No auditor will ask me where you are now. This general, if you take any energy auditing activity within the organization, mostly it is all project based, localized. You take one blower, study the performance, and then whether you change it or improve it, or any modification to be done, you do it. Project is closed. Okay, we have saved some amount of energy. That's it. Take another pump, do some audit. Do a performance analysis and change the impeller or install VFD or change the total pump itself or change the motor. So there is a project-based approach. But benchmarking, when you do it, it is for organizational approach. What is my total energy consumption for this type of products? How much I need, how much I need. Below this, I cannot go. That is a benchmarking. So this is even if you say the carbon emission, see, I cannot do my product or I cannot manufacture my product without at least this much of carbon I have to emit. It is without this I cannot run my business. So that is a benchmark. So this helps you understand where you are now. So that is the starting point for further energy consideration, whether I am below the standard or above the standard, or I am at par with my competitors or above or below. So the benchmark is one of the yardstick to estimate how much you are, how much potential you are having to reduce your energy consumption. So that immediately think about the money. See, if you implement the 14,001 environmental management system, the management immediately think expense. But when you say the benchmarking and I have this potential, the top management immediately think about the profit. So that is the difference between the other standard and this standard. So it gives me immediate return. So benchmarking is one of the basic activity, which is the key activity within the while implementing the energy management system. So baseline energy use, where you are. So everywhere you know that yes, this is my base level. I cannot go reduce. I cannot reduce. Even if the government says you reduce your energy consumption 2%, or the government gives some norms, highly energy intensive industries, you give some norm. There you can say within this performance, I cannot go to this. I saturated. I cannot go reduce below this energy benchmarking. So it is my minimum requirement. I cannot do. So that standard. So here you will have the data. It is the energy management system is totally a database. You have all real-time data and you speak with the fact and figures. There is no assumptions. No, there is no ambiguity. There is no technical lagness or whatever it is. So it's all talks about with facts and figures, and it is reliable, it is measurable and achievable. Only this talk, only the system will talk on these lines. So you will be able to confidently run your industry very competitively with this analysis. And then regulatory compliance, whatever compliance, these are all other topic. This regulatory compliance anyway, for any other standard, you have the regulatory compliances that have to be compliant. For India, the major regulator is our Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So the energy intensive industries all have to be brought under this compliance, regulatory compliance, and there are other state norms are also existing for buildings and other industries. Those things have to be taken care of. So it also becomes integral part of the system. So there is no need. I mean, there is no need of missing anything. So immediately there is no chance of getting any notice for not following any regulatory compliance. It's automatically taken care of. So it means state central agencies, state electricity boards, BE, and pollution. Even it's also slightly interconnected with the pollution control board also. Reduce carbon footprint, yes, energy usage automatically reduced because the CO2 emission comes from the combustion that we all know. And organizational engagement. This is what will happen. This whole organization will be engaged in implementing this. As I said, every man in the organization will contribute, will start thinking, contributing towards energy consumption, energy conservation. Then it also has a mixture of bottom-up and top-down approach. The bottom-up approach means there is whatever energy coming in, and you are doing all the analysis, energy performance, and go to the next level and find what are the best way of doing it, best way of using it, best way of replacing with supplementing with any energy form. Then take corrective action. That is the bottom-up approach. Whereas in the top-down approach, energy supply, whether it is ensured, compliances are ensured, any norms is ensured, or any norms of similar industries where we are now. This is a top-down approach. So it is integral part of top-down and bottom-up approach. That is the other advantage of this implementing, so that nothing is missing. And nothing in the sense means in the running of the organization, the energy point of view, nothing will be missed. You will compare with your organization with other similar organization. You will also compare within your own organization. So it is a total dissection of the complete organization for energy performance. So brand image, anyway, this brand image and commerciality. If you have a 50,001, automatically people understand when the business community that they are using very energy, very efficiently, or more importantly, they are damaging very minimum damage to the environment. They are creating very minimum damage to the environment. That is the impression immediately they will get. So that is a brand image, and automatically commerciality also will come. Commerciality means there are some cases where ISO 50001 people get priority in business, getting a business, getting a contract, getting a tender. So there are some agencies, they try to give preference to this type of industry so that they are sustainable. This is also another word is sustainability. So the brand image is any organization. So our products are coming from energy efficient companies, so we are more sustainable. So like that, it also gives the commerciality of your organization. The preferred for export, European countries or any other third country if you want to improve. Anyway, these are all that you know. And, ensures continual improvement in energy performance. That is the final task of this energy 50,001 is it ensures continual improvement energy performance. What is the energy performance is that unit of energy consumed per unit of product manufacture. So this is try to be this indicator, that is energy performance indicator for the organization level, within the individual level, individual department level, individual equipment level. So the energy performance indicator is being tracked continuously, and there is always a search, there is always a activity going on to reduce this energy performance index throughout the business. I mean, throughout the operation level. It is continual improvement. So one year, the system takes care of it. Is a cycle. So once it is improved, then what is the next? What is the next? What is the next? So like that, the system will take care of that. The system itself will motivate you to do this energy conservation activities on a continuous basis. You look at the energy auditing or the government compulsion on energy audit or any voluntary action, it's all project based. That means you take one project and complete, that's it. After that, energy audit will be over or the activity will be over. But whereas in the system, it will be a continuous activity, and there is no need to compel or no somebody send a circular, you do that activity, do this activity. Nothing is required, and it is a self-motivated activity, and the organization will grow. This is okay. This is something history about the Excel documentation detail about this required. The advantage is that it is a high-level structure, HLS, high-level structure. So all these classes common to these generic standards like ISO 9001, 45001, then 14,001. These are all environmental-based, health-based, and security-based, cyber security 27,000, and then energy management. These are all under a common class, that is high-level structure. So this 1, 2, 3, 10 classes will remain same, and maybe subclasses will be different, so that this can be integrated with the other systems, so that the document can be duplicated. The same document can be used for different systems. So it reduces your work involvement, and it also avoids duplication of the works. So there are shell statements. Anyway, these are typical system that you can, every system will be having the same kind of information. Okay, this is so I'm not going to very detail about this 50,001. This is some sample shell statement that I have taken from the standards. That is, if you count this, there are about 84 shell statement, and these are to be, if you fill up, if you maintain, if you comply all these and all these shell statement, your system is perfect, and your organization take effective implementation of this system, and it start giving fruits, start giving the effect of this system within 6 months or 1 year. You will be finding a lot of activities going on within the organization towards reducing energy cost. Okay, this is a plan to take this for all our seniors, so I don't want to explain all this. It's all self-explanatory. And only thing is that the support and operation is very much ensured. The system ensures from the top management. And this is all okay. Yes. I have shared this PPT, and you can collect this PPT from the organizers and you can go through it. And these are the classes of the standard. See, if you take plan to check, this is the major activity depends on this operation and performance evaluation. So here you are done. And this class 8 and 9 class will excuse you so that you do the maximum, the best to reduce your energy consumption. If you implement this 8 and 9 class very perfectly and you do all the analysis and with competency and with expertise, because it requires, definitely it requires the operational planning and control, design, procurement. Procurement is this is the one thing that procurement also very important, that you are ensuring the system ensures that you are procuring only the energy efficient equipment. So the procurement policy automatically takes care of this energy efficiency within the policy. So all the tender document, all the purchase orders, everything that you are sending to third party or second party, and automatically you will do the energy performance evaluation of all the energy consuming equipment that you are purchasing. And then performance evaluation here, monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation of energy performance and the NOS. So when before this act comes, Energy Conservation Act comes, so these are all very haphazardly happening within the organization. What to monitor? Say the engineer will say this is to be monitored, and the electrician will say this cannot be monitored. So there will be a lot of confusion, and they, at one point of time, both will be getting compromised, and they will keep doing the work. So that was happening. But now the system, once the second stage is audit comes, then the third party auditor enter into the organization and he does a systematic approach, and then all the three get compromised. Okay, so this is possible to measure, this is not possible to measure. The auditor will say, I need this other information to do my analysis, and they will share some information, and all the three will get compromised. Hello. And then now the system comes. Now the system will automatically say that all the three people are doing perfectly. There is no compromise. So there is advantage of when you do the performance evaluation or class 9 implementation. Excuse me. Hello. Yes. ஆமாங்க. எங்க இருந்துங்க? சரி. ஆமாம் சார், கொஞ்சம் நான் ஆன்லைன் கிளாஸ் இருக்கேன், கொஞ்சம் பேசுறீங்களா? கொஞ்சம் நேரம். ஆமாம், ப்ளீஸ். பண்ணுறேன். Sorry, there was a call. Hello. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there was a call, so there's a small interruption. Okay, so this monitoring and measurement will take care of a very systematic approach in the data collection, and automatically there is no compromise question. So they have to go with the facts and figure. So you take the calibration. See, calibrations should be done. Range accuracy of the instrument have to be perfect, and then the range of the instrument have to be perfect to measure particular data. So everything is taken care of. So automatically everyone, all the three auditors and the electrician and the utility manager and the top management, all will be speaking the same. So there is no question of toleration or no question of compromising, and that way this ensures that energy performance is happening within the organization. And then internal audit, measurement, management review, it's all for any other. The technicality comes within this class 8 and 9 class. So it is a top-down approach. Energy supply security, mitigation plan, alternate sources, supply. These all top management will think about all this. Compliance to legal requirements, then instrument failure and malfunctioning, close monitoring and control of process parameters, risk of environmental damage and issues from local bodies. So these are all inbuilt within the system. So all these things, all these topics will be addressed, how to be addressed by the relevant, by the concerned people within the organization. They cannot escape. So when you take all these measures and keep a track on these systems, on these activities, automatically your energy performance of the company or energy security of the organization is ensured. And then establish a strategy to minimize this risk. This is a risk-based approach. It is also taking care of this any untoward incident or where the energy supply has gone down or energy performance is deteriorated. So all these risks have been addressed in this systematic manner. The bottom-up approach, you take the energy review at regular intervals, energy performance and monitoring, top management support and competency. Now, top management also have to come in supporting these activities, because they are the people who make this company more profitable. So they have to involve themselves to see that the energy conservation activities are happening within the organization, so that the energy cost is getting reduced. So internal audit at regular intervals and the corrective actions. So this is a bottom-up approach. So these are companion standards for this ISO 50001, energy audit requirements, guidance, ISO 50002. It talks about energy audit requirements. So if somebody is coming to energy audit to your organization, they should follow this 50,000. Even you can buy this standard and you can refer this standard whether these are all followed during the energy auditing process. And then you have 50,003. It is the energy management system requirement for effective auditing and the third-party certification. So this is not it is not relevant. I mean, it is not required for the organization, but it is required for the organization which are certifying. Somebody coming for you to your organization, so that they are verifying the compliance as per the 50,001, and they are the certifying body, and they have to follow these standards. And you can also take all these standards and counter check whether they are doing as per this standard, so that it is uniform. And then 50,004 is the energy management systems, user guidance on implementation and maintenance for improved energy performance and efficiency. So now how to prepare manuals, how to prepare SOP, how to prepare procedures. So all these things, the records, how to prepare records. So all these guidelines are given in the 50,004. What is the competency of these people working on this manual preparation or energy efficiency improvement? Any individual is not trained properly, he will affect severely the energy performance of the company. For example, if take a chiller plant, if the operator is not trained properly and he is not maintaining the parameters and how these condensers and evaporators and then pumps and all components of the chiller, how work in tandem and in harmony. If he is not understanding this concept, this fellow will make a heavy damage, and the total system performance will go down. And the energy performance indicator, that is kWh per TR, whatever the indicator that is applicable to the chiller, will get affected drastically. And so the training is one of the aspects. So here, the manuals and competency, all what is to be done for the organization while implementing this energy management system given ISO 50004. And 50,006 is energy management system, how to use energy baselines and indicators to measure and manage energy consumption, use and efficiency. So here, while baseline development or any data collected, this system ensure that you are doing in a common base. That is normalization of data. It was not in the energy auditing process. When you do energy audit, the normalization normally would happen. But when you take a system, when you implement system, it sees that you are comparing the energy performance with their normalized data. There is no abnormal changes in the data for 3 years data. If you take any baseline development, so all the data are normalized, and very scientific approach. This 50,001 ensures a scientific approach in your energy performance analysis. So that refers to 50,006. Then comes energy management system, how to measure and verify energy performance and its improvements. Here also gives a methodology of verifying the energy performance and its improvement. So then ISO 50,005 energy management system guidelines for phased implementation. So if you take audit, after the audit project, they will be giving recommendations. So these are the projects that I will be recommending, and these are the investment, these are the payback period. And now top management has to prioritize which I should go first, which I should go last. So this phased manner implementation guidance is given by 50,001, and it is not a So when you follow these systems, so everybody, I mean, you will get into a systematic approach rather than individual dependent. Then ISO 50045 2019 technical guidelines for the evaluation of energy saving of thermal power plants. So this is specific to the thermal power plant. So they will do all the methodologies, procedures, how to perform, how to do the performance study. So now the 50,004 has come, the latest version, 50,004, 2020 has been released. So that is the latest version, and that can be referred for preparing all the Apex manual and the results records. So this is about the 50,001, the overall how it helps the organization to conserve energy. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Fully audible.
Okay. So this is about all the introduction part and its advantages and the classes we discussed, how it impact the energy performance of the organization. So now we'll go to the individual section, but I prefer to talk about more technical classes rather than go to this general classes. That is section 1, 2, 3, 4. All the general classes as applicable to any other standards. So as a technical people, we will be going for this technical aspects. More importance or more we'll be discussing more on that line. Okay, this is the scope. It is applicable to any organization, type, size, complexity, geographic location, organizational culture, or other products. So in general, this ISO 50001 scope is not limited to any particular organization. It is applicable to any organization which consumes energy in terms of electricity or in terms of fuel. Even it is applicable to the houses also. Houses also can be certified. Residential apartments can be certified as 50,001. So the scope is very wide, and it is not just specific to any industry, but specific to every industry. There is no normative reference as of now because it is very young. This 9015 is a normative reference to ISO 9000. Like that, there is no prior versions, so there is no normative reference for the standard. And terms and definitions, yes. Now these terms and definitions are very technically given, and any terms and definitions, if you are not even at your workplace, there is a confusion. This gives a complete definition. I will show the standard so you can find out how it is being improved. This is administrative based, then technical based, and the energy based. So all these in the three categories, these definitions are given. I'll show you the standard copy also. Then policy, audit, monitoring, measurement, significant energy users, energy performance, energy baseline, relevant variables, static factors, normalization. These are the new terms that have been introduced. So now this introduces a term, this significant energy users. This standard introduces a term called significant energy users. So when you do the energy conservation activity within the organization, you have to identify the significant energy users. That is what this system says. You first identify your significant energy users. What are the criteria that you are going to use for the significant energy users? Before implementation, you will be haphazardly approaching. You may be thinking that compressor is one of the energy consuming, energy intensive. Pumps are one of the intensive. Or chillers, or fans, or boilers. If the boiler is there, they focus only on boiler. They will be completely focusing on boiler. We have to, this fuel consumption is very high. So like that, they will not be having a focused attention, categorization of the equipments, and where to focus, where the list comes. Even if you say compressor, the leakage, air leakage will be very heavy. They will be thinking that air leakage will waste a lot of energy. If you look at after implementing this system, you may do this. You may think that leakage is not my major area. That will be coming out. These cases are there. There is no need that you give a lot of attention on arresting leakages, because if you estimate the leakages, air compressed air leakages, the energy lost due to the leakages, sometimes it will be minor compared to other area where energy could be saved very heavily. Maybe it is. I'm not saying that leakages can be avoided, can be ignored. Leakages should be arrested, but the priority may be lost. It is not the first priority. There is another priority where I can say I don't need to put, because leakage is one of the nuisance. There will be a lot of manpower is required, identification of leakage is very laborious, and instead of spending a lot of time and seeing that my energy saving is very minimum, instead of putting my effort, my manpower here, I can put in the chiller, or I can put in the cooling tower, I can put in all the blowers and the fans, where I can comparatively save much better. One day, maybe when you start improving one by one, automatically the leakage also will be one of the major area. Then at that time, this will become a major energy losing area, and then you will start attacking on this. So like that, this once your system is implemented, the significant energy user identification is one of the main criteria. So normally, when you start implementing this, the criteria is they fix it maybe in the total energy consumption. Any system or any group of system consume more than 10% or more than 15% of the total energy I consume. I'll categorize those equipments as my significant energy users. So this guidance were not there in the energy audit process, or in this guidance were not there in the energy conservation activities taken within the organization. How to approach, how to tackle, how to attack, that to focus first. So this system introduces the category of significant energy users. If you take your organization, you do a complete energy consumption data. Boiler, you take electricity alone. So how much my fans, how much energy consumed by my fans, how much energy consumed by pumps. So like that you categorize and distribute the total energy consumed. So some areas will be 30%, some areas will be 20%, some areas will be 40, some area will be 10. So now you identify these are less than 15% of energy consuming areas. I will not attack this year. More than 15%, I will attack. I will categorize those equipment as a significant energy users. I will improve the performance of those category equipments. Then you revise it. Once it is improved, the next stage is yes. The next year, I will review this significant energy user category. I will reduce it. Those equipments consuming more than 5% of the total energy consumed, I will categorize them as significant energy users. Though in that case, automatically other lower end systems will come into the bracket. So the system helps you that way. The approach is more systematic, more scientific, and it saves time, and it also saves your cost. So that is the one major aspect of this energy management system. How helps the energy conservation activities. And then energy performance, the energy baseline, you develop relevant variables and static factors. So what are the relevant variables? The relevant variables which are directly impact or significantly impact the energy performance of your organization or any system. So if you take any production, single product organization, manufacturing a product, so production is one of the major criteria which affects your energy performance. Obviously, it is energy performance indicator is so much of unit of energy per ton of product. When the ton of product is reduces, your energy consumption will go up. It increases means your specific consumption will come down because of the minimum energy requirement is there, baseline requirement is there. So whether you produce this much, there is a break-even production. The production is go beyond that break-even, automatically your specific energy consumption goes up. And if it is above it production, so you have to maintain the production always to some extent level. Accordingly, you have to design, you have to modify your operational practices, or you have to group your production orders. So this is one of the relevant variable. So this is for the overall organization. When you come to individual section, it is anyway that you will be doing it. But now the system will tell you, you go to the individual department or individual system. Now the system will say that the relevant variable which affect the energy performance of a particular system, whether you are measuring or not. You take a small blower. So what are the relevant variables that is going to affect the energy performance? The blower has the energy performance indicator is maybe kWh per normal meter cube of air blown. This is the indicator. So kWh per normal meter cube, how much it consumes, that is the indicator. So what are the relevant factors that you will, variable that you will measure? We have to measure kilowatt, we have to measure the RPM, and then we have to measure, these are the major relevant factors. Then the velocity, that is airflow. Airflow you have to measure. And then if it is a belt driven, then you may belt tension, all these things you have to measure. But the significantly affecting factor is flow, KW, and then RPM. This RPM have to be measured. So here these are the three factors kWh per normal metric cube. So flow is the major component which will affect the energy performance of the blower. So that is a relevant variable. Now the static variable. So in the same blower, speed is a static variable because speed will not change continuously. Every time it will not change. It will remain constant. Unless otherwise there is a any bearing failure or any problem in the one-out bearing, or there is a belt tension problem, then only the RPM will change. So the static variable is one which will not change frequently but affects the energy performance significantly. The RPM, how it affects any rotating equipment, the thumb rule in the affinity law says that pressure flow is directly proportional to speed, pressure proportional to n squared, power proportional to n cubed. So the speed affects the power consumption significantly, but it will not change very frequently. Once it is maybe once in 15 days you can measure maybe 1 RPM, 10 RPM will be changed. That's one. That is the only thing. Otherwise, nothing will change. So these factors are not previously not identifiable in the energy conservation activities. They simply go for the kilowatt measurement, whether it is what is ampere measurement, what is a kilowatt measurement. Even the auditing also they will do kWh per meter cube. The RPM is also a mostly neglected. They will not measure the RPM mostly, but the very heavy blowers definitely they will measure the RPM because the pressure is also gets affected, and they go for VFD. All these things are there, but in many cases the RPM they will not be measured frequently because there won't be any provision to measure the RPM. Otherwise, they have to remove the guard, and then the proper instrument may not be there, and the positioning of the instrument will be difficult. So these are the things. Once your system is implemented, anyway that has to be measured. Then corrective actions, all the necessary actions automatically will be taken. Your guard will be provided with the provision so that the guard need not be removed completely, and then you just there is a gap, there is a simple provision so that the instrument can be inserted through the guard, and then it be measured. So like that, this system will help you to take necessary measures so that the relevant variables and static variables are measured on continuous basis, which is not a continuous basis, or which is not a thing that is being done regularly after the energy audit or after the energy conservation measures. So this is how the system helps the conservation activities happening within the organization on a continual basis. And then normalization, anyway, this is also has been introduced within the system so that your data collected are normalized and compared with the scientific base. The conduct of the organization with reference to the energy performance. So there is internal issues and external issues. Then, so should I read all this, sir? I think you will be able to. Hello. Hello.
சார் சொல்லுங்க.
இல்ல சார் அது should I read all these things that I can skip all these slides?
இது ஸ்கிப் பண்ணிடலாம் சார். நீங்க அதாவது அந்த லைவ் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் மட்டும் கொடுத்துட்டு க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாம் சார். ஆல்ரெடி we are 8:40.
Okay. Oh, 8:40. Oh, okay. Okay, sir. So I will just go through the leadership planning. So the main part is developing baseline and energy performance indicator. That is the core activity of energy conservation. And further, the data collection is also a key. That is a key activity within the system to analyze the energy performance of the organization. So energy data collection and data measurement and data analysis, and then developing the required energy performance indicator is one of the key aspects of this 50,001. Otherwise, if you don't have this system, people will be doing it haphazardly, and also become individual dependent. So one individual will say with his experience, with his expertise, some way of method, another will say another method. So these things will be will not happen once the energy conservation, the energy management system is implemented within the organization. So if you take the planning, this action to address risk and opportunities, objectives, energy targets, and planning. Another is energy target. So how you fix the energy target? So energy target, see what is my energy consumption. So one is comparing with a similar industry. What is my energy target for the similar product or similar system? Now the target is how will you fix for your organization? So now the baseline study. Once you complete the baseline study, you will be able to understand your scope of energy saving. So what you will do? So we will be reducing our energy consumption by 2% the next 3 years, or next 1 year, or next 5 years. So it helps you fix the target. So now, if you, that is the policy. See, it also included in the policy statement. See, once the system is there, then it helps you to make you to develop a policy for your organization. What are your directions? What are your strategies to reduce your energy consumption? The energy policy document is one of the major document and publicly displayed document. So to do those documents and then policy document and then objectives targets, this baseline study is very important. So once you did the baseline study, then you develop the policy. So we will reduce our energy consumption by 2% next year. So from the level of past 3 years. So that helps. Again, you will also say that I will replace my conventional energy sources with the renewable energy sources by about 3% next 3 years. So like that, it helps you to fix a target and a timeline for the implementation of those targets. Once you committed, so the management also automatically coming into the picture. They are also pulling into the commitment, and it ensures that these commitments are implemented within the organization as per the time frame. Then this is the clause 6, and clause 7 is the performance evaluation. Is the clause 8 is the performance evaluation, and this is to human resources. Yes, human resources is very much important for their competency. So from the shop floor also, from everybody has to be trained towards the energy performance, operating the equipments. So training is also, and creating a competency within the organization is also taken care of, and operational planning and control, technical maintenance, significant energy users, design procurement is also one of the design modification. See, the design modification is one of the. This is not that you have to be a designing company. Even a small modification in the pipeline work or small modification of the blowers, higher capacity to lower capacity. After analyzing, you found that it is oversized blowers. So you replace it with a new size, correct size blower. That is also a design aspect. And then you have a filter-driven system. You convert it into a direct-driven system. That is also a design modification within the organization. And you implemented. You replaced all the inefficient lighting system with the LED lights. This is the latest efficient one. So that is also a design modification. So it's also give a lot of scope in design modification, and it is all recorded. It is all recorded. Previously, any modification is done, it is not recorded. So nobody is recognized, nobody is rewarded for this suggestion. So now the system will take care that any energy conservation measures suggested or improvement done by any department or any individual or any group of team, then it gets rewarded and recognized for their effort. So the design also is one of the designing or operational modification within the organization is also one of the aspects. So now the performance evaluation, I discussed a lot about this performance evaluation, and it is individual system dependent. Your every equipment will have a different way of doing it, and I think this competency is very much required, and all the engineers have to be trained. It is not only the operational point of view; it is operational efficient point of view. They have to be trained. That means they just not do the regular maintenance work within the organization. They have to do the analysis also. So some scientific base is required, some qualified people are required, engineers are required, domain focused experts are required for some uh, heavy equipments or complicated equipments, and domain knowledge is required. So this is performance evaluation, really a technical activity, and it requires a lot of effort and expertise, and this is the makes your system more effective, and it gives a lot of cost benefit to the organization. And then performance evaluation, then you have internal auditing. That is, yes, you have to train the people how to do internal audit for energy performance. That means they have to be trained with the technical input and the method of doing calculations, method of reviewing the energy performance, method of analyzing the data. So all these things will be strengthened. All these things will be given. Knowledge base will be created within the organization. So that is also helps to reduce the energy consumption within the organization. So internal audit is one of the effective activity. It is internal audit is, I used to say, it is by the organization, for the organization, of the organization. So you have to do yourself, audit your own performance and improve it before the third party comes. So nowadays, if anybody, third party comes and say that you improve, this is a weak area, then they will be getting a remark from the top management what you are doing, why you are not doing it. So it is not that many management may not take positively, and now it happens on mainly this is ownership companies. So they will not take it technical spirit and professional spirit. So it may happen in many of the industries, but the corporate houses, they take it in a professional way and they try to do it with the local team. So these are the frameworks and improvement. Anyway, this also continually improve the performance once your system implemented. So the energy conservation is not an energy conservation if it is done in a systematic way with a standard approach and scientific approach and a globally acceptable manner, acceptable international standard, then energy conservation will be more effective than expected. So this is what the system helps the 50,001 to improve your energy conservation and make profit. So I think I think I will be. We can close this session, and if any questions, please. Some of the tips for the implementations: ensure top management commitment, make energy data visible, understand the macro energy users, start small and simple, integrate the NMS into your work process, educate your organization, allocate people and time wisely, shift from a project by project approach to continual improvement. Educate your organization, promote it, get buy-in, and then any questions, sir? So please, any questions I can try to answer. Hello? Hello?
Sir, we are hearing you. Actually, the session was focusing much on 50,001. So it's
okay. Any
in the industry scenario, it will be much useful. Whereas for the general user of energy conservation point of view, we wanted some practical examples also like that. We thought, okay. Doesn't matter, sir.
Okay.
It's quite useful for from the company objective side. It's really useful, and how to go about in a company like that, it is well covered.
Let me.
Yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
Yeah, let me ask some participants, please. Anything, any questions are there? You can share with me. Any related to energy conservation, I will try to answer. But it's not there because the topic was 50,000. Mostly the 50,000, as sir said. I covered how it is going to help an organization rather than a general awareness. Because the general awareness, it is also there. General awareness in the as in the morning before the sessions, as are there. As sir told that even the lighting replacement of lighting also a consideration measure within the home. So please don't hesitate. Any questions are there? Please ask me and I will try to answer.
I think Salamanalan, thank you very much, Sambandam sir, because time is shooting up too much.
Okay.
Actually, your staff is there. Now it is almost 8:50.
Okay. This is a topic which we can keep on talking for hours.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for your this thing, 2001.
Thank you.
Now, Salamanalan, you can tell.
Yes, sir. My secretary will tell vote of thanks. Formal vote of thanks. Our secretary will be telling.
Yes. Good evening, one and all. On behalf of Ranipet Local Center, I feel extremely delighted to thank Dr. Thirugnanasambandam for the special lecture on Energy Management System ISO 50001. Thank you, sir, for providing insights on carbon neutrality, energy performance, energy supply security, significant energy users, etc. I also thank chairman, committee members for organizing this event. I thank all the participants of the program for enthusiastically joining in the celebration of Energy Conservation Day. I also thank Tamil Nadu State Center for having provided access for this webinar through Zoom platform. Once again, thanking you, Ananda. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Salamanalan.
Thank you, sir. Kannan sir, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sambandam.